very high in antioxidants. It's actually really very healthy for you. So basically this recipe, all it is, there's just 4 ingredients. Coconut oil, and coconut oil is very good for you. For a long time they were trying to say coconut oil was high in saturated fat and this and that. Modern research says that saturated fat from these types of plant sources is actually very good for you. So I've got coconut oil. I'm going to add that into the bowl. With coconut oil, it gets solid when it gets cold. With this particular recipe, it's easier to blend it into a smooth texture if the coconut oil is melted, if it's in a liquid state. This one is a little bit chunky because it's been in the cold room, but it's pretty liquidy, so it'll blend pretty well. But you can't, if you have coconut oil and it's solid, put it in a
dehydrator.
In the dehydrator, or like you can actually like heat up some water in a pot and stick the whole glass jar into the pot of water and melt it, or I've actually stuck it in my garage under the car engine.
Yeah, the dehydrator
whatever
wasn't
you
working,
can do.
so
I wouldn't recommend putting anything in the microwave, of course. You can even put it in the stove. Don't obviously heat it up beyond 118 degrees, but just enough to let it melt. Then you can add your, of course, raw chocolate powder. I prefer using the pre-ground raw chocolate cacao because it makes for a smoother chocolate for this particular recipe. You can also use the nibs, and you can grind the nibs in a little coffee grinder and make it into a powder. But from my experience, the already pre-ground chocolate powder, the cacao that they sell here, works really well, and it'll make it smooth as silk. So I'm adding in the coconut oil, the chocolate powder, the cacao, and then I'm adding in agave nectar.
Now the fun thing about agave nectar is it's not like refined sugar where it gives us these crazy up and down spikes. Agave nectar slowly breaks down the body, and it's a good energy source. Something that I learned which helped me so much was that when you combine your fats, like your udo's oil, your olive oil, your coconut oil, with your fruits, it actually, rather than the fruits just being used as an energy source very quickly, it actually slows it down, so it's a nice slow burning fuel throughout the body. So it makes you very calm throughout the whole day. So that really helped me, just learning how to combine the fats with the fruits.
Right, so if you want a breakfast that sustains your energy for a few hours, combine the fats with the fruits. You can use avocado or coconut in the morning along with some fruit that you eat, coconut in a smoothie or whatever, and it'll keep that sugar burning for a few hours so you don't get hungry, so you have a stable energy source, and so it won't spike your insulin levels. I've added these together. Then I'm going to add just I think the recipe calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of mint extract. Add that in there. You don't have to put the mint, but I love the mint in the chocolate. It's divine. And all I'm doing now at home, and unfortunately we didn't have a wire whisk today, but at home I like to use one of those wire whisks that you use in the kitchen, and that will really blend the chocolate into a smooth consistency. But if you stir enough, it'll get all the lumps out.
And I trying to do things very quickly. Put it in the Cuisinart, thought, oh, why do I need a wire whisk for? And I just press the on button. And what it actually does is, as it heats it all separates. So it actually changes, because if you see the consistency over here, it's becoming like a chocolate. But in the Cuisinart, the fats will separate from it and it's not usable. So just something.
Feel free to lick the bowl when you're done. Lick your spoon. As you can see here, the chocolate, because the coconut oil was a little thicker, the chocolate is kind of blobby and like thick like fudge. Sometimes when the coconut oil is thin, it'll be like a syrup. That's okay. What's going to happen is after we've mixed this all together, blended it up, gotten all the chunks out, we're gonna, and I'm not gonna do it right now, but you're gonna pour it into a little glass. I prefer to use glass, but we're just using plastic here for this particular presentation. A glass casserole dish. I like it kind of, I don't know what size, about this big I usually like, and I like the chocolate to be, maybe 1/4 of an inch thick, and I just like the taste of it when it's a little bit thin. Pour it in, put it in the freezer for an hour. An hour later, pull it out. You can use a little knife, chop it into little cubes or pieces, and you can eat them. And it's just like eating Hershey's chocolate, but way better, way better, and way better for you.
And the interesting thing about this is, it's like, you know, myself, I put it in the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes, and it's hard. It's good enough to eat. Is that the recipe that we've given you, it'll make about this much chocolate. It's about this thick. You know, it's not that expensive to make, but when you go into all these